It's not 7, it's freaking 6. I don't know what dimension you live in. Hi, chat. I'm underprepared. I was gonna say unprepared, but it turned into underprepared, and I think that's the correct term to be using in this situation because I'm not 100% prepared, but I am more prepared than. It's 5? How dare you? That's not real. Bingus Kid, how's it going? I recognize that name. I recognize a lot of names. Am I late? Do you see the starting soon thing on your screen? How's it going? Listen, I made an executive decision before I started the stream, and I looked up some chill Mario Galaxy music, so here we go. We're listening to Mario Galaxy this stream, because I like this soundtrack. You got flies in the wallet? Aw, that sucks. If you have flies in your wallet, if you're like flat broke, don't whoa, jeez. Don't spend it on me. If you're just, I always say, I should follow my own advice though. Take care of yourself, of course, first. Before we start, I am for sure announcing this on Discord. Usually I do that before I unmute my mic, but let me do that now. Announce it on Discord. What's the next episode? It's, I always announce it at the end of every Gemology. It's the next one, it's already on Patreon, is... I'm drawing a blank. It's, I just finished it, like, earlier this week. Island Adventure. Why couldn't I think of the name? I was, like, thinking of all the shots, all the scenes. Island Adventure is just such a, like a boring title that I just couldn't remember it. Like this song? Yeah, I like this. I have more fond memories of Mario Galaxy 2 because I played the fuck out of that one. I've played Mario Galaxy 1, but not as much as 2. You would have never been able to pull that episode title out of your brain. I could probably... Actually, I'll say it this way. When I finish Gemology, I'm going to be able to, like, tell you every... If you give me, like, a plot of an episode, I'd be able to tell you the title in, like, 1 second. Right? I also, maybe, like, 5 minutes, like, 10 minutes before I started the stream, I was on a bike ride. I just got finished with a bike ride, and I didn't realize how long it would go before, what do you call it? Before I got back, so I got, like, right back on time, but I also haven't had time to eat anything. So by the end of the stream, I'm gonna be starving. Especially right after... right after getting done with a long-ass bike ride. It wasn't that long. It was like an hour. It was like 10 miles. No mukbang stream, because I don't even know how to say that. I feel like I'd get yelled at people who are like Korea-boos that if I say mukbang, I am like saying it wrong or something. Is it like mukbang or something? I don't know. Okay, I have to get this set up because I didn't set it up before I left. I definitely should have set up Blender and stuff before I went on that bike ride. What is going on here? Hold on. I also have... I announced it on Patreon yesterday. If you are like a free member, you'd be able to see the beginning of the post. If you're a full member, you know what the whole thing is. But I'm going to be doing an anime review, and it's not going to interrupt the normal weekly Gemology, so don't be worried about Gemology getting interrupted. But I watched an anime and I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to make like a whole video about it. So I'm drafting scripts for that. Let me get this all set up. I'm sorry you have to stare at the starting soon window for so long. Okay, there we go. There we go. We'll start on the fish. If it loads. There we go. Mukbang? What? Professional streamer. That's I don't do this. I'll full disclosure, I make like $15 on each stream that I do. I do it for fun. I don't do it for money. It's just cool. And I like interacting with people. So not professionally. Also, as a little snack, I have a bottle of Jones root beer. I used to do soda reviews all the time during streams. I'm not going to do one right now because I'm all sweaty and nasty and I don't want to show myself. I will just be drinking this, though. It's pretty good. Let's look at all the junk in Amethyst's room. I feel like that's a good thing to start on. This fridge, or whatever this is, was in use when... What is this? Excuse the fuck me? Is that Amethyst can fuck? Is that what that says? Can rock? I hope it says can rock. Amethyst can fuck. Well, Amethyst is a rock. I hope it's rock. Yeah, okay. It's when I looked at it in like the smaller, if I like shrink it a little bit. Yeah, that looks more accurate. How much has Amethyst stolen? Well, let's go through it because I guarantee like everything in her room is stolen. There's this like clay pot. I think this is part of that pirate ship. This is a radio, like a ham radio. A plastic potted plant, unless it's a live plant, she's been keeping it alive. There's some kind of like chug jug Fortnite potion here. A compass, a gold chalice with gold coins. Meat Beat Mania was full on spoken in the show. That was censored in a lot of international releases, though. I might bring this down just a little tiny bit on my end. Oh, there's no, like, in-between. Wiener in hand. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of, like, adult Easter eggs. Because, you know, every cartoon is made by adults, right? Like, there's no way that they're not... I don't know how to explain this, but, like, injecting an adult joke into kids' media is not horribly uncommon because every cartoon that makes it to TV is made by an adult. That's why people are critical of me. I've seen comments. This is from more long ago when it was still like a weird thing to be watching cartoons as a grown man, where people would say, well, you should be watching more mature, like, things. But it's like, well, I want to look at it with a critical eye because the people who were making it are all, like, they're all fucking adults. Like, adults are going to want to make, people are going to want to make shows and entertainment that they themselves would enjoy. Do I watch the Steven Universe analysis videos, or is that not for you? I do occasionally, but I try not to. I, like, force myself not to click on them because I don't want them to, like... When it comes to making Gemology, I don't want it to just be me parroting what other people say. How many books is these? I just don't want to... I don't want it to become like a... like a clone of a clone of a clone kind of thing, because then people would see my videos and then make videos based on them and stuff like that. I don't want to, like, form... I want to form my opinions based on the show itself and not based on what other people talk about in the show, if that makes sense. I think I would otherwise. Like, if I wasn't making Gemology, I probably would watch a lot of these. But if I wasn't making Gemology, I probably wouldn't have enough interest in Steven Universe. So it kind of goes back to, like, overall, I probably wouldn't be watching stuff like that. So the soggy books are making you weirdly uncomfortable. Imagine, like, a hardcover book and you pick it up out of the water and it's, like, floppy. This is some good-ass root beer, flavored with cane sugar, or sweetened with cane sugar. Though all root beer, kind of tastes the same because all root beer is artificially flavored. Because sassafras is a carcinogen. Do I wish Pluto was considered a planet still? I really don't care. It's still there. It's still Pluto. It's just called something else. I think that's the same... There's like a Neil deGrasse Tyson video about it, or I don't know, someone like that. It's like... It's just called something else. Who cares? I'm sorry, if that's like cold... I'm being as cold as Pluto. Big fine. I was gonna say something... every so often, I remember this one. I was gonna write something goofy about this little sign here for the video, and it's like, if I look at something like this, there's already certain points where I'm really pushing what I can really say in terms of insight. But if it's something like this, it's like, big fine. It's like, well, that's just a background gag. I can't really... There's nothing to really talk about there. It's just big. The most memorable dwarf planet is Ceres, because it's the largest object in the asteroid belt. Pluto's just Pluto. No human? I think it says no dumping. No dumpin'? No stupid? Don't dumb here? No Dunkin'. Oh, it's from the Big Donut. They're not gonna... I think they had an agreement with Dunkin' Donuts to not put up to not build a Dunkin' Donuts. That means they could have built a Krispy Kreme there. I don't know. No dumpin' left beef? I haven't thought about Nun Pizza left beef in a long time. Do you guys know about Nun Pizza left beef? Are you like that? Are you old enough to be on the internet? Though, now that I'm thinking about it, that was something that came, what do you call it? That was something that existed when I was like a little kid. When was this? 2007. I wasn't little, but that did happen when I was on the internet. Okay, Nun Pizza left beef is this. There's a whole Wikipedia page. Oh, why is my zoom not working? Let's see. Let's take a look at this. This is the Nun Pizza with left beef. And the backstory for this was, there was when Domino's released their website where you could order online, they pushed it to the extreme, or someone pushed it to the extreme, and they decided, what if I just do none? What if I just do none everything? No sauce, no nothing, and just beef, left beef. So it's a none pizza left beef. It's not awful, it's just how computer work. It's just bread with, like, chunks of ground beef, like, seasoned. It's not pizza, I'll tell you that much. Like, the only thing that makes it a pizza is that there's three things. It's a circle, which is important. It's a flat bread. Yeah, it's a flat circle, it's bread, and it has toppings. It has a topping on the left side. That's like barely meeting the it's barely meeting the requirement of pizza. Okay, let's go back to Steven Universe. I derailed because Vondel brought up none pizza left beef. First encountered none pizza left beef on early 2010s Tumblr. That sounds about right. That's probably where this kind of thing was shared around quite a bit. Man, Tumblr back in the day, it was such like a mecca for like internet culture. Remember when like Tumblr and 4chan were like the top websites in terms of internet? Like in terms of culture, I mean. I do like the Mario Galaxy music in context of Steven Universe. The vibes kind of go together. What is Pearl doing with this? It's like, first of all, she summons it out of the water. So she's had this bubble for a long time, clearly. She didn't just go get it today. The Tumblr 4chan wars. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm still on Tumblr. Tumblr will let you back. I don't know if I want to go back. Actually, I think Tumblr is very tame now, isn't it? Who's my main in Mario Kart? I don't really play Mario Kart. I actually did, a couple days ago, I got to play Mario Kart World a little bit. I played like 3 Grand Prix and a knockout tour or whatever it's called. And it was cool. It was all right. I'm glad I didn't buy a Switch 2 because I don't know. It's just for Mario Kart, doesn't seem that good. Tumblr hasn't changed a lot. Yeah, but they got rid of the porn. Tumblr has changed a lot because I feel like most people went there for ass, you know? There's a video about Tumblr ass. The big ribbon that goes around Pearl's room is where she drives her Mario Kart style go-kart when she's alone. Is that why she's so good at driving, why she's the only gem who drives throughout the whole show? This is her, like, Rainbow Road. Can we get, like, forget multiverses, like, get rid of it, but, like, Warner Brothers kart, you know? Can we get like a Warner Brothers, I mean, they have rights to Garfield, right? They could merge Garfield kart with, like, Steven Universe and Scooby-Doo and Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. I miss multiverses. I only played it a little bit. I gave it maybe, like, 3 hours of my time. It's, I don't know. It's not something that I got too into. It seemed cool. But the fact that you had to grind for characters was annoying, or pay for them. Let's look at the bubble continuity. I'm glad I did shard continuity and just made it a really quick segment. This was awful. Garfield is Paramount now? Oh yeah, you're right. I don't think it ever was Warner Brothers. I think it was Paramount, because the Garfield show, that was Nickelodeon, right? Or is that like syndicated onto different channels? I can't remember. Because I remember that being on when I was like, when I was younger. When I had cable, when I lived with my parents as a little child. The, what do you call it? I'm hoping with the whole stop killing games thing not passing, but like the petition going through in the European Union, you won't have situations like multiverses again, because if they make a game like that, they will just have to release it, right? I thought Garfield was Warner Brothers as well. I could be wrong. They could have also switched it, or like they could have like sold it back and forth, the rights back and forth. I'm looking production. Okay. Oh, it was okay. Garfield show was Cartoon Network. Interesting. So at some point, if it's Paramount now, then they must have like sold it at some point. Also, one of the most pointless things that I'm realizing happened in recent history is the Warner Brothers Discovery merger happened years and years ago. And now they're like splitting back apart. So it was like they merged, which did like horrendous, irreparable damage to a bunch of different like media. And now they're just splitting back apart. So it seems like extremely stupid that ever happened in the first place. So my scroll wheel, if my zoom here like freaks out like that, it's because this scroll wheel on my mouse is dying. I miss Infinity Train, yeah. That's one of the big ones that I missed out on. No, I didn't miss out on it, but I missed that it's like gone now, because they planned out what, 7 seasons of that. This is a weird frame? Yeah, why does Steven touching Pearl's leg in that weird spot and Amethyst's bosom? Very odd. Actually, it's more like her shoulder, but the way it's drawn is weird. I mean, Steven's head only comes up to Pearl's hips. Is that true in other shots? No, that's weird. Okay, I've said it before, this show has a problem with scale. And even between those two shots, like... I mean, you could argue. There's going to be someone who argues. Pearl's, like, standing behind him. But, I don't know. It's like, extremely inconsistent. This is Steven Universe moment, yeah. How tall are the characters actually supposed to be? We will never know. And I've said this, I've gone on this rant before, that they didn't have model sheets. I'll bring up one of the Ed and Eddie model sheets that I'm talking about. What is going on? Okay, my computer freaked out for just a sec. The other shows, Steven Universe didn't have this, where a bunch of characters were stood side by side with each other to like have a definitive height chart. Let me open this up. Open image. This is on Reddit. So in Ed and Eddie, for example, they lined up a bunch of characters and had like a height chart, right? So they would each have to follow this height chart for every episode. And it didn't matter, like, if they were, like, different size compared to, like, different objects in the world, that was fine. But, they, like, had to be consistent with each other. That was, like, super important. Which is wild for this show, which is, like, supposed to be goofy looking and have characters that are, like, crazy proportions. But in Steven Universe, where it would make sense to have characters be consistent because it's a much more serious show than Ed and Eddie, they didn't have this. They didn't have model sheets that spanned the whole series. They just had, like, they had model sheets for each episode. It was very strange. I've talked about this before. I'll probably end up talking about it again because Gemology is going to last for decades at this point. I don't really care about the different storyboard styles. Yeah, I don't either. I like being able to, like, point out, like, these faces in this episode are better, and, like, this person draws hands really well. And in this episode, the hands are just not good. Let me find, like, a really egregiously bad hand. Egregiously bad, I realize, is redundant. There's some good hands, though. Also, what is this fucking Godzilla foot? I didn't point this out in the video. Oh, jeez. Even within episodes, character size can change wildly. That's what I was saying just now. Like, if we go back, where in this shot, Steven only, his head is only up to Pearl's waist, right? In, like, 2 shots, 3 shots from them, he's up to her chest. I don't get it. It's very odd. Him and Amethyst are consistent because they're very similar in height. Hands are very hard to draw. The thing is, there's really good hands in this episode, and there are really bad ones. It's like not in between. It's one or the other. Let's look at some of the monsters, for example. Let's look at some of these. I mean, oh, that's like the best foot. I don't know, that foot drawing. Listen, if you try to draw hands and you struggle, if you try to draw a foot, it's like impossible. Even a foot with like a shoe on it. It's really weird. Ooh. Oh, there's a bad hand. There we go. Look at that. I don't know why, like, it seems like 50% of streams I do, I end up talking about a foot or feet in some way or another, and it's not what you think, chat. It's just, it's, I shouldn't even bring that up. That's stupid. I've just noticed that, like, I see a drawing of a foot, and I'm like, this is a really well-drawn fucking shoe or foot or whatever. Because I'm talking about hands. Hands and feet go hand in hand. Hand and foot. There we go. Pearl is salad fingers confirmed. This episode also has good Pearl poses. The, even when, yeah, back, this is what I used for a thumbnail. Like, this Pearl pose is awesome. Also, this hand is awesome. Look at this. That's a really good hand for this shot. Pearl is, like, unhinged right here, but it's cool. Should I post my feet to Wiki feet to just get it over with? Because, like, if I just make my feet public domain, then there won't be any, There will never be any, like, demand for it. People won't be like, post feet! Pearl's gonna kiss the rose bubble. Why did she have it? I think that's the question that's been left in my mind, is like, why? I know it's like a longing kind of she's thinking about her, you know. What is that? Like a romantic, not even romantic. It's like a infatuation. It's like this is a remaining thing from rose quartz, and she's like kind of being protective of it and stuff. But it's like she's like, well, I was just studying it, or I was studying the effects. How they're reacting. And people took that surface level. I saw in the comments, it's like she's studying how they're reacting to the bubble. It's like, well, now we know the gems can like react. It's like, no, she's just covering it up because she's being a creep. Caring for it until it hatches. Someone someday, I'll say that, someone out there, even right now, is gonna be like, man, I wish he would show his feet. This is the internet we're talking about. Not to have like a big head or like an inflated ego about this, but I guarantee it. There's at least one crazy person fan. It's probably someone in chat, I'll be honest. Also, does Garnet, like, see Steven here? This doesn't go anywhere, right? That she does that turn. She, like, stops. She knows something's up, and she turns, and it looks like she sees him. How would I rate my feet out of 10? I don't know. I don't compare feet. I rate them 10 because I'm a 10 all around. Everything about me is a 10. Except my eyes. My eyes suck. I wish I had eyes that worked. I think she heard him and saw him, but it didn't mean anything. Then my question is, why include it in the episode? I feel like this is a kind of an indication that this episode was definitely like a draft. It wasn't a first draft, but it was definitely not a final draft of the script, and they included this thinking that they could like use it as the episode went on, but it's like, if it doesn't go anywhere, it just seems very pointless. I'm talking about like Chekhov's gun type of stuff. If you don't know about Chekhov's gun, I hope you can learn something here. In story writing, let's say in Act 1, you introduce an environment like a living room with a rifle hanging on the wall. The idea is by the end of the story, that rifle's got to go off. Otherwise, like, don't mention that there's a rifle on the wall. That's how it goes. Like how much water is there. It looks like just a perfect horizontal portal slice. That is weird. Let's see how deep they drop him in. Because he's up to, what, his, like, shoulders, right? His head's barely poking through. How much of him... Oops, I'm going the wrong way. How much of him is... Okay, so there's at least, like, a good, like, 4 or 5 inches of water that he has to go through. The water portal... I don't think the water portal is ever in the show after this episode. That is true. Add it to the weird list of weird things that are only in Season 1 ever. That's a weird pearl. I kind of like this pearl. This is very strange. Feel free to screenshot. I wonder why the temple is so underutilized. I think it's just scope creep, where they keep introducing these like new environments and then they forget to go back to the old ones. She looks like that eyes emoji. You gotta post the emoji itself. Like, you've got a keyboard in front of you. I gotta know what you're talking about there. Pearl's faces are always strange at certain angles. Yeah, I don't think her character was... I mean, it looks like she's balding because her gem takes up so much of her forehead. Bald Pearl. The Wise... How is his pants soaked? Like, how did water get up there? Also, this goes against the, if you've ever seen, the, like, King of the Hill... There's, like, a book on... What do you call it? Like, an art Bible for King of the Hill, where they say how to do, like wet clothing and wet skin. It's like, don't draw water on the skin, because if you've ever noticed, skin is waterproof and it doesn't soak in and it doesn't like discolor it, but wet fabric is always just darker. That's it. Bald Pearl is just an egg. That is true. A Peridot and Pearl fusion would have full-on Greg baldness. I think it would be a little bit closer to Mayor Dewey baldness. It would, like, go around the back a little bit, or a little bit on the top a little more. If you have two gems that, like, their gem placements are exactly the same spot, how if they fused, how would they decide where the... Like, let's say Steven and Navy Ruby, right? Because they're both on the navel. What happens when they fuse? Who gets to be on top? Or are they just side by side? They just stack? Yeah, but how do they decide that? Or do they stack, like, laterally? Not laterally, but there's laterally, horizontally. What's the other one? What's like front to back? I think Fluorite has that going on, possibly. Let's look at Fluorite. Let me close all my Nun Pizza Left Beef tabs. Let's get a look at her. Okay. So she's got some... It looks like a Peridot, right? And then some other gem on her head. So that could be like the exact same gem placement. Maybe a chest thing too. 3 different gems that have chest placements. She looks like Betty White. She definitely looks like a grandma. Her chest and forehead gems definitely move a little bit compared to her components. I don't know what her components are, though. That's the thing. I kind of, I'll be honest, of all the off colors, I think I dislike Fluorite the most. I don't think she's bad. I just think, her design is a little bit boring. Let's be honest. It's just Caterpillar. And I think her gimmick of talking really slow gets old very fast. I guarantee we're gonna get, of the things that we're gonna get in Lars of the Stars is for sure off-color backstories. That's pretty much it. I feel like, for Rutile, you're not gonna need backstory, because it's like that's just how they they've already kind of said, like, well, we were made this way, right? For such a big gem fusion, I expect more detail. Yeah. For kind of all of the off colors, I think, I really hope they get reworked a little bit. Because if Padparacha for the entirety of Lars of the Stars does the same, like, if she's just a vehicle for the same joke of, like, saying a thing that just happened, that's gonna get really annoying really quick. I like Padparacha, don't get me wrong. But if that's all she does, and she's not, like, an actual character, it's... yeah, I don't know. It's gonna get annoying. She'll get better used, like how her noticing mistakes others don't. Yeah, that's true. I'm getting a warning on OBS or on YouTube saying my bitrate is too high. It's probably going to cause, like, buffering and stuff. Let me see if I can change that without, like, destroying the stream. Can I change that? Let's see. Is it still going? It looks like it is. Okay. She has hindsight? Well, we all have hindsight. She just has clarity in her hindsight. Rhodonite is cool. I think Rhodonite is definitely my favorite off-color. The Rutile could be more interesting. They are voiced by Ashley Birch, who voiced Miss Pauling in Team Fortress 2 and Expiration Date, and also Tiny Tina in Borderlands 2 and 3, and also was on Dungeons and Daddies, that Dungeons and Dragons podcast. That's a good podcast. It sounds cringe. Just the title sounds cringe, and I thought the same thing. It's if you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like you want to hear a bunch of people who have no idea how to play it. It's cool. What happens if one gem reforms? Like in a fusion, if one of the gems reform, let's say Garnet splits apart and then Ruby dies and then comes back. How does the palette, how does the design change, do you think? Because we've only ever seen Garnet design change as wait, no, I'm trying to think. We've only ever seen fusion designs change after both gems have reformed and gotten new designs. Other than maybe Alexandrite, because Amethyst reforms a bunch. Love how the Rutile twins have slightly different voices. Well, they're the same voice. I mean, it's the same voice actress doing, like, two different voices, kind of. Just, like, different tones. Also, look at this guy. He's like a mob boss. Steven, are you part of a gang? Are you in a gang? Also, does he have to pay for the bits, or does he have, like, a tab? You know? It's odd how subtle Opal's reformations are. Especially with Amethyst and Pearl's final forms. Let's look at Hold on. Let me look at Opal. Is there like a good like side by side of? I don't see one of like each of them different. Am I gonna have to go on fandom.com? Okay, I'm just looking at them now, and they're just like palette swaps. It's not even worth... I don't even want to bring it up on stream because I don't want anyone to look at fandom.com. Which, it's interesting... talk about Steven Universe Wiki on fandom. I used to go on there, like, early Gemology, maybe the first 10 episodes, I would go on there to, like, look for animation errors and things like that. And I ended up stopping that because... the wiki is really bad. I'll be 100%. There's some crazy people on that website. I don't know how crazy they are, but they do. There's a lot of like fan theories that are on the wiki as if they were like canon official. What do you call it? Like facts out of the show. Or, you know, words from God if they came from storyboard artists or Rebecca Sugar, Ian JQ, or whoever. Also, circling back to Lars of the Stars on the topic of Ian JQ, I'm glad that he's on for Lars of the Stars because I feel like there were certain points after he left where Steven Universe kind of lost the plot. And he was a really good showrunner. Like, season 1 feels really consistent. And when he's gone, it's like, there's high highs, but the lows are really low, if you know what I mean. Adding the fan theory stuff, yet they removed the World War II not being canon in the show's lore. I don't know how true that is, though, because it's... Again, like word of God, it's like not in the show. It never comes up in the show, so like I don't know why it's even on the wiki. I feel like if that was on the wiki before and it was removed, that I think that's fine. Because it's yeah, it just doesn't make sense cuz it's not in the show. I think way too much about that because there's I get a ton of comments on Gemology where it's like something in the show, and I get a comment saying like, well, this is explained by XYZ on their Tumblr. It's like, well, I didn't read their Tumblr. How would I know that? If it's not in the show, I feel like it doesn't matter. I've said this over and over, time and time again. Does Sardonyx's palette ever change? I don't believe so, because Sardonyx doesn't appear... I mean, the Steven version of Sardonyx appears in future, but Pearl and Garnet don't reform between, like, the first time we see her and the last time we see her in the show itself. Not in future, not included. We never see Sardonyx's new form. We never see a lot of the fusion's new form. We never see a lot of fusions in general, like this Peridot and Lapis fusion that never happened, that everyone wanted. We got robbed. I say, if I were to rewrite Future, I would have had a moment where Lapis and Peridot and Bismuth fuse. Because we need a B-team fusion. I think that would be cool. He looks like one of those like cats. What are like the white like waving cats in like Japanese? They're like these plastic. I don't know. Hold on. Are they beckoning cats? Is that what it is? No, that's not what I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? What do his eyes look like? Oh, he's that fucking guy from Digital Circus. Whoever... What is his name? Jax? Meowth? Okay, Meowth could be true, yeah. I don't know, what is... let me look at Meowth. Okay, yeah, he looks like Meowth, except for the teeth are way different. The eyes are correct, but the teeth are wrong. He looks like the fucking Digital Circus guy. The wall clock, that's true. That's also true. This is the second time... I think the second time in the show Amethyst picks her nose, other than episode 1. That is some specific information. You do not realize how many times I've watched this show. I especially season 1. Season 1 is probably the season that I've seen the most. And I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Actually, I've lost count. For season 1 specifically, I cannot tell you how many times I've watched it. It's that many. Which is weird. Every time I bring that up, I also have to bring up the fact that the Steven Universe is not my favorite show. My favorite show of all time is Ed, Edd and Eddy, and I'll bring that up all the time, but there's just less to analyze in that because it's not serialized. When a gem reforms, they have an opportunity to pick their nose. This is the episode that has the infamous Pearl looking up shot? No? Are you thinking of Monster Buddies? Ugh, look at her legs. Look at her legs compared to her arms. What the fuck is happening? It's nasty. I mean, like, I was gonna say, like, oh, this is a cool pearl. I like this frame, and then you zoom down to her legs, and they're nasty looking. The one where she's smug? Oh, yeah. Wait, I know what the one you're talking about now. Let's see. Wait, smug pearl. It's before this. Yeah, there we go. The smuggest. Also a very good hand. Bedroom eyes? No, this is the eyes where, like, right before she stomps on you. She, like, stabs her spear through your chest. Lenny Pearl? It is Lenny Pearl. Wow. Very, very strange. She looks like she already stabbed us. Yeah. Maybe yeah, I think she's stomping on your family jewels, you know? Or she speared them. She drove a spear through them. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, that's not me. She looks pompous in this one. We do see Crying Pearl with snot at some point. Yeah, that was in Coach Steven. Again, I've gotten to that point where if you can bring up something that happened in any previous episode, like before this, since I've gone through them all in Gemology, I would be able to tell you which episode that is. Not Pearl CBT. I don't know. Pearl's not into guys anyway. She wouldn't. Wouldn't happen. Also, this angle doesn't make sense unless this like floating island is in a weird it's like at a weird orientation because she's, I don't know, this is looking up and then this is looking from the top. The Greg X Pearl art traumatized me, like the official Rebecca Sugar ones. Yeah, very strange. I don't, I think a creator shipping their own characters is very, unless it's like part of actual writing, you know, characters that are meant to be together and stuff, or meant to, it's meant to be part of the story where they're, also this is the kneecap monster that I mentioned in the video. That this is the only like non-hand or foot monster that I think we see. I was gonna say, if you're like making a show and you're like drawing like ship art of two characters, like those characters better be fucking, that better be canon. Otherwise, you're just doing this for the sake of like fetishizing them or something. I don't know. Are we totally sure that's not a butt? It doesn't look like a butt. I think it's a kneecap or like an elbow. Let's look at every frame. It looks like, yeah, it looks like a knee or an elbow or something. Let's skip ahead a little bit to where Pearl is killing them. There's another one. That one's an elbow for sure. Is that a bone in that leg? It's, I don't know. Is there like some kind of fluid that flows through gems? They need like a tube. It looks hollow, the way it's drawn. Inspired me to work on a similar series for Adventure Time soon. What the note-taking or analysis process is for me? I can show, let me pull up, just for behind-the-scenes ideas, I will, for real, pull up my Gemology notes. I started the Keep Each City Weird one recently, but let's look at the one for this one. Okay, so I use a program called Obsidian. It's very nice, very clean. Everything's all in Markdown. So I kind of watch through the episode and I write out my thoughts and then I make a line break and then I just continue on like that. I started initially doing, what do you call it? I've kind of drifted away from this, but when I started Gemology, I watched some of this show, and then I would stop, I would write this, and then I would record the voiceover for it, and then edit it into place, and then continue on. Like, I would do all that in one go, and then I would move on, I would keep watching the episode, and I would write the next one. Oh, shit, I just did that. Okay. I middle-clicked, and it pasted everything. Yeah, so I would just do that. In recent times, I've done the whole episode at once. That's not as like fun to me, but in more recent videos, I've written maybe like 5 to 10 of these, recorded them, and then edited them together and then moved on. It's yeah. Obsidian Linux? It's not even Obsidian Linux. Oh, copyright copy pasta? Okay, here's the story for that. So every episode of Gemology ever gets claimed, right? It gets a copyright claim that I have to deal with. So I just have this because I've done it so many times that this is all I need to get through it. So if it's just a regular claim, I can just paste this in, But usually I do an appeal just because it goes through faster. So it's the questions that it goes through is like what like why are you using this? Like how can you prove that this is fair use and stuff? And it's pretty much I just copy and paste this and it works every time. Listen, I've been on YouTube long enough that I know I know how to deal with this. I have also taken one law class that covered this kind of stuff. When I got my degree, one of the required courses was a media law. You copy your copyright copy pasta. Feel free to screenshot. This is a very useful thing because if I do, this is kind of like if I'm gonna review a show or if I'm gonna talk about any episode of any show, like this line could be used for pretty much anything, right? It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's my notes. I have random thoughts that I'll save for later videos. Here's the hot take script and how I had that laid out. Very fun, very cool. And these in Obsidian, if you do use this for note taking, which you can do, you can also put like, it's this graph exists that you can like link notes together. I haven't needed to do that in this vault, but in other vaults I have a bunch of notes linked together. And you can like look at the links in this graph. Thanks for sharing. No prob, Bob. It's pretty... I like the way it's set up. Obsidian is a good program. It's not open source, but it is free. Very, very good program. Let me pull up, like, a... Actually, I can't pull up my, like, daily note thing because it has a bunch of, like, personal information of people in it. So I'm not going to do that. Let's return to this. I like that you can drop images inline. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you paste it in, it saves the image as like as a file, but it also has it inline. It's really nice. You can also put other notes inline in a note. Like you can embed a note inside another note. And of course have links between notes, which I use a lot for my like daily stuff. I don't know why, but I've always thought of, like, Garnet in this shot. If Garnet, like, squeezed really hard and Pearl, like, shot out. I don't know. I think that would be funny. Like, imagine squeezing a banana. Like, what is that? Oh, I can't remember what. When you, like, squeeze a banana, it, like, shoots out in, like, every cartoon ever. Might try it out for D&D notes. That's what I use for Pathfinder, too, because everything... the fact that you can link notes together is really nice for preparing D&D stuff. Because you can, like, make sure characters are tied together and, like, locations and stuff like that. Imagine her nose sticks to the wall like a dart. Yeah, that would be cool. Interesting that gems can just generate many limbs from their body at will, seemingly. Is it many new limbs? Because it looks like just the two, like Garnet's 2 arms. It's just, yeah, it's just 2. And then when she retracts them like a tape measure. Which I think this is the coolest, like, motion in this episode. Where she just, like, oh. And it was her whole arms. Why were they black? Her whole arms are mostly... I guess they're mostly black, but her hands are red. The shapeshift rules in this show get kind of tested in the video, or in this episode. It definitely looks like more just because of how big they end up getting. It is a cool idea. I wish there's so many like ideas in this episode that I wish were in better episodes. I wonder if she could make small hands on the ends of each finger. If Steven could do cats, I think Garnet or Amethyst could do little hands. I feel like the Mario Galaxy music that I picked is repeating now. So I may want to pick a different soundtrack. You know what? I'm going to pick another soundtrack that I don't have on Steam. Okay, I can show this. Let me show you my other Obsidian window real quick, because there's no actual text here. This is like notes that are linked together, that you can every like line here is a link between two notes, and I have them like color coded based on like what they are. Like green is all a project. Let's see, where's the Gemology one? This is the Gemology one, and that's linked to a bunch of red ones, which are days, like a daily note. It's pretty cool. Let's watch them all pop into existence and link together. It's fun. Like a spider building a web. It looks like a constellation. You go on like Reddit on the Obsidian MD subreddit, and you see people's graphs that they're like note vaults that they've been using for like 4 years or something. It's just like this massive blob of like all these notes tied together. It's really cool. I love this program. And again, all the notes are markdown, so if suddenly the app stops being supported, you don't like lose your notes like you do in like every other cloud note app ever. It's pretty neat. Okay, what was I gonna do? I was gonna find a another soundtrack. Let's see. I'll pause this one. Let me think. Well, what's a good? I'll let it keep playing while I like scroll. This one is just chill video game music. 2 hours. I feel like 2 hours will be plenty. Let me skip back. Yeah! Okay, Mario Odyssey. You know what sucks about Nintendo? Is that their games are really good. And their music is really good. And that they're a shit company. I can't just dismiss them. I think that's the thing that sucks, is I can't just say, oh, Nintendo bad. Because I like their games. Isn't it weird? I mean, it's... You don't notice it until, like, a second watch-through that Garnet putting her hands behind her back is, like, strange. That she never does that. Because she doesn't do that, right? I can't think of a time where she does. She broke a vase. What do you have behind your back, Garnet? Nothing. That's what she sounds like. It would be good for a Smash Bros. Stage. This looks like Maybe it is. It's like, that Kirby one. What is that? That has all the waterfalls in, like, Smash Melee. This is really loud on my end, though. I don't know how loud it is for you. I'm gonna turn that down on my end. One sec. Whoa. Fountain of Dreams, that's the one. Smash is another game that I really like, but I just cannot get into it because it's full of sweaty people and smelly people because Melee players don't shower. I think my thing in terms of Nintendo was that if they came out with a new Smash Brothers for the Switch 2. Okay, this is where the good hand budget went in this episode. If they come out with a new Smash Brothers and it's really, really, really good, then I would consider buying a used Switch 2 and a used copy of the game. I would definitely not be buying it firsthand because I don't want to give Nintendo money for any reason. You can smell them through the screen. Yeah, Melee players are that bad. This is the last episode Pearl's room has a major use in. I said that in the episodes. Pearl's room doesn't appear after this episode, like, at all. Pearl's room is in that list of Season 1, like, things that don't appear after Season 1. Smelly. Wasn't Ultimate supposed to be the last? I think it was the last one that Sakurai was, that Mr. Sakurai was developing, or designing, or directing. And, after that, I don't think that Nintendo would release a console without a plan to release a Smash Bros. And if they do release a Smash Bros, like, they don't make a new one, it better be, like, a remaster of Melee, you know? He's too busy on Air Riders. That is true. I think, I didn't mention it in the video, I think the best line in this whole episode is when Amethyst is like, "What's the deal?" That's like a really good line read. Amethyst has no bad line reads except for that one time where it was just bad, like, direction. I think it was bad writing as well. What's this all about, Garnet? What is wrong with his chin? Why does his face go down that low? It's like a fucking horse. This is not Steven. This is a very strange, like, Steven lookalike. Thanks for making me want to go play Smash. My Smash main in Ultimate, I had a 3. For the longest time, it was Link. I played a lot of Donkey Kong. I played a lot of Incineroar. Like the only Incineroar player. That's his acting face. Yeah, where he puts on a face. Whoa. I like this Pearl, actually. I like this face. Rosalina Luma. Rob, Rosalina Luma. What else? What else? What else? How many other mains? They should have added Gordon Freeman for sure. Just to like give him a real gun and an AR-2 and a fucking gravity gun. A command grab gravity gun? Okay, here's the dream game. I think everyone's talked about this before. Everyone who's like wanted a dream game is like a multiplayer first-person shooter Smash Brothers, right? Where it's like the idea is you just have characters from different franchises that all have like their unique guns and abilities, and it's like an arena shooter. I think that would be awesome. They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the Smash Brothers. Or here's the other thing. If they make a new Smash Bros, it should be like kind of 3D, like Tekken, where the stages are all like kind of like you can spin around your opponent and stuff. Be kind of neat. I don't know how like 8 players would go on stages like that. Oh, old lady face. Look at that. Can we get Master Chief versus Gordon Freeman? I hope so. That would be cool. It's like a hero shooter, but a crossover? Yeah, it would be neat. Well, not like a team-based thing like Overwatch or TF2, but like a, just like a deathmatch, you know? Like team deathmatch. And if you'd have, they'd have to be like really big arenas and stuff. You can't have like a Call of Duty sized like map. You'd have to have something bigger like Battlefield, because there would be characters like fucking what's her name from Mirror's Edge, Faith, and she'd be like running on walls and shit, and like she could pick up a gun and start shooting it, and then like a Titanfall character like that can call down a Titan. You would need big maps to accommodate for stuff like that. I miss good arena shooters. I miss Splitgate. I like Splitgate 2. Apparently people don't like that one, so there's not a ton of players. Splitgate 1 was pretty cool. Okay, good hands. More like good hands, okay? Why are there so many, like, there's such a disparity here? I don't know what game this is from. What is this? Oh, I muted it. Shit. Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll. Never heard of it. There's a bunch of... I only know 2 Monkey Ball games. That's Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2. Those are the only ones that matter. Super Monkey Ball Bonanza. That's not Monkey Ball. Okay, I keep finding like pausing on good frames or like scrolling by them, and there's some really good. What is Pearl disgusted at? Wrong answers only. We can look at let's go to the beginning of the episode and see who did boards on this. I don't think Rebecca Sugar did any boards on this episode. Written and storyboarded by these people. I couldn't tell you what other webisodes they've worked on. There's two things that Rebecca Sugar will be known for, and that's Greg X Pearl art, ship art, and Ed and Eddie Yowie. She'll go down in history for those. And that's it. That's the only thing. I'll find that frame again. Oh, hand spotted. Steven hands. Those are just fingers, though. It could be worse. Yeah, you could go down in history for being, like a sex pest. I don't know. Could be much, much worse. Oh, crusty mic. You guys like that? I gotta turn my mic up a little bit so I can actually hear myself. Sorry. Okay, now it's good. Is it? Was I like really quiet before? I don't know. I feel like my audio interface is dying. There we go. Everyone say hello to Krusty Mike. That's my new Pathfinder NPC. I should talk about Pathfinder, because I'm doing it on Mondays now. The last session, my party, my players, came across a farm with a big sinkhole in it. And on the farm, they ignored the sinkhole for some reason. They just didn't care. It's better now? Okay. I don't know why I was so quiet. My audio interface is all fucky. My players found a farm. It was a sinkhole. They pulled a guy out of the sinkhole with some rope. And then just kind of ignored the sinkhole for a little bit because they... Okay, now it's a little too loud. Crusty. So, they were on this farm and they found a horse, like their workhorse that was on the farm. And, there was a talking workhorse, but it wasn't clear if the farmer knew about it. And the horse was like, "Get me out of here." And then they got the horse out by the end of the session, and the horse escaped. Also, the horse couldn't talk. Listen, long story short, there's a chicken that was granting the horse the power to talk, but then they ate the chicken. They cooked up and ate the chicken without realizing, or the farmer cooked up and ate the chicken without realizing it was a magic chicken. And, yeah, the horse was no longer able to talk, so they bought the horse from the farmer, and then the horse escaped. Actually, the horse didn't even escape. One of the players, like, released the horse. So confused. I was as well, but it was funny. It was a pretty good... I've been recording the sessions and just keeping them. One of the players does a lot of animation, so he might end up making some funny, like, short animations. Again, okay, here we go again. Steven's, like, not even up to Pearl's, like, hips. And you can't even use the excuse that, like, Pearl is standing behind him. Because she's not. Some standard horseplay, exactly. Everyone who's confused definitely has not played Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons or any tabletop role-playing games. Because you just get up to shenanigans like that. It's typical horseplay. It is fun. I just have to do a lot of planning each week because I am bad at planning. Give me an idea, chat, for a random level 2 Pathfinder session. Anything goes, because all the ideas I have now are shit. Okay, is this Ruby Y/N? Inside a geode, the barn is a mimic. Oh no. That's not Kiki. Kiki isn't like... She isn't... Well... No, that's not Kiki. I want to believe. I don't know. It's... Unless it's like really, really stupid young Kiki, then maybe. What does Pizza Daughter look like? Let's see. That's not her hair. I mean, it could be Jenny hair. But it also, like, who's the only character in the show that wears a headband, right? It's gotta be, wait. Is it a headband or is it like a... I've always thought this was hair and this was like a headband. You know, let me see. Let me draw. Headband here. And then it's like tied up. See, it looks like Ruby. And then like this, I know this is like, I think this is actually a bandana now that I look at it a little harder because it's not the same color as the hair. But I always thought it was the hair, and it was like Ruby looking. Young Nanafwa? I don't know. It's possible. I think it being Ruby is like very, very much not the case, but it's still... It looks like her. That's what I wanted. I wanted to believe it. Make that a little thicker. How old is the picture? That is the question, isn't it? And who is this person? Why does it look like Scout TF2? They are not reed. They're not red. They're kind of red. I mean, it's a monochromatic picture, so... Like sepia tone. She could be red. I don't know. Dead Mama Pizza. Well... I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, because it's, It looks like Nanafwa. It could be young Nanafwa. That's quite possible. The mother was not a pizza, right? Because Nanafwa is Kofi's mom. Kofi's wife. Then who is this? Oh wait, is this Kofi's? Wait. Who the fuck is this? I don't know. I don't understand. This painting is like making less and less. It's not a painting. It's probably a photo. Maybe it's a painting. I don't know. It's making less and less sense the more I look at it. It was a popular game at the time. TF2. I understand. TF2 is a popular game now. It had summer update. Need pizza family backstory. We could have gotten that instead of the stupid Restaurant Wars episode. That episode blows. Okay, worst episodes. Let me think. I gotta think about this for a sec. Worst episodes in the show. Restaurant Wars is up there. Onion Gang is the worst of all time. I think the reason a lot of people don't like the Bloodstone one is because it was a bait and switch when it came out. Because they did all this marketing. It's like, meet the new crystal gem, Bloodstone. And it wasn't. It was Ronaldo. And people felt betrayed. That is a pretty bad episode, though. Very much filler. I wouldn't even say that any of the episodes in Season 1 get even close to the worst episodes in the show. I think a lot of people just don't like Ronaldo. I don't know. I never disliked Ronaldo all that much. Even, I went back and watched Rocknaldo a few times, and I wouldn't even say that's, like, the worst episode, because I think Onion Gang is just so much worse. Foreshadowing comes from him? Oh, we're gonna get to that episode pretty quickly. Truth be told, Ronaldo only predicts 2 things. That's it. Like, he predicts, he says the 2 things that he gets right are they're going to hollow out the earth and that there's a great diamond authority. That's it. That's all he gets right. Human zoo? I don't think Ronaldo ever mentioned a human zoo. I like Ronaldo when he's a side character. Yeah. Ronaldo works, first of all, works way better as a side character than Onion, because Onion is just kind of a freak. I don't know. He definitely doesn't need any focus episodes. I mean, having one focus episode is good. I think every townie should have gotten one focus episode, which they did, but then others got multiple, and I think we got robbed from, like, PD. You know, good townies like PD. And maybe... I don't know. I would also say that the Mr. Smiley episode is dog shit. That's actually okay. Number 1 worst episode in the show, Onion Gang. Number 2, Future Boys Ultron. Number 3, Rocknaldo. Does the Gem War predate recorded history? I don't believe so. I feel like... Because the idea is 6,000 years ago, right? Because 6,000 years ago was, like, ancient Greeks, ancient Egyptians... Like, they would have been around that time, I think. I feel like a Diamond Authority would have been somewhere in recorded history. Well... How old is recorded history, like, right now? What is the oldest written text? It's not the Rosetta Stone, is it? It's gotta be, like, something by fucking Homer or whatever. No, Homer is the oldest, like, fiction. Oldest text. Whoa, okay. So maybe, yeah, it's about 3,000 years before the oldest recorded text. The Kish tablet is the oldest written tablet in ancient Mesopotamia. I'm totally wrong. No, that is 6,000 years ago. It's like a... no, it's a little bit after. It would have been about 500 years off. Which is still, I feel like, recent enough that, like, there would be stories about these people. Known human history goes back, like, 1,200 years? Or 12,000 years? Yeah. The, like, ancient river valley civilizations first sprouted up around that time. The dawn of, like, agriculture. So, realistically, I feel like this could have been, like diamonds and, like, a gem war could have been, like, ancient, it could have been, like, recent, not recent memory, but it could be, like, a generational story passed down up until people figured out that you could, like, write stuff. There's also, the possibility that there was plenty of stuff written before this, and it just got destroyed before, like, current day. Imagine, like, think about that for a second. Like, how much of history has just been erased to time? Like, how many thousands of, like, years of writing just doesn't exist anymore? That just got, like, eroded. Because if it's a tablet carved in limestone, like, limestone is reactive to acid, right? So any amount of acid rain would have eroded it over that many, like, 1,000 years. Greg said at the end of Season 1 that people got hurt too. That is true. That means humans fought in the... or were casualties in the Gem War. Like, you know, collateral damage. They could have fought in it. That is entirely possible. That's what I like to think about the suits of armor in Pearl's... or not Pearl, in Rose Quartz's armory. The armor of the Fallen were worn by humans, perhaps. Archaeologists and paleontologists lament all the time that what preserves in the record is such a small percentage of what existed, and the rest is basically unknowable. Think of, like, today, like, today's age of, I'm sure there will be plenty of, like, things written, statues, engravings, like, brass, or rather bronze, like, plates on a statue and stuff like that. Those would withstand the test of time, because bronze will corrode, but you can always just polish it off. But a thing like a hard drive, like every hard drive that's storing information, like the hard drives at Google headquarters or at YouTube headquarters, when this stream is finished, is like I'm done streaming here, it gets archived to a hard drive on there. That at some point, that's all gonna get like fucking vaporized, unless somehow Google keeps backing them up like forever. But eventually it'll be lost to time, but there will be certain things from today that'll be around maybe like 30,000 years from now. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure they already do that. Yeah, they back it up to another hard drive. Do you know how fragile hard drives are? Unless they're like putting everything into like, I think Microsoft does this. They like engrave it into like a crystal of like silicon or something. Not silicon, what is it that they use? It's like this crystal like disc, and they can like burn stuff to it, and it's like this kind of permanent thing. So if you burn a lot of those and then like shoot them into space, then yeah, they then at that point you've preserved information for essentially forever. But I don't think Google's doing that. I think they just have a lot of data centers with, you know, regular hard drives. Crystals can store information or something. Yeah. Also, I have a bottle cap. You want to see what you can do with a bottle cap? Listen to this shit. Yeah, you can do a whistle. Every bottle of soda or beer or whatever comes with 2 whistles. It comes with the big one, and it comes with the little one. Like acorn heads. Yeah, that's where I learned how to do it, was with acorns. It's good stuff. Okay, that was a good root beer, but again, I don't compare. I've said it like right at the very beginning of the video, very beginning of the stream, that I can't compare root beers because they're all flavored with the same artificial sassafras flavor. This song is from the game Deadly Premonition, and it is a very like goofy game. It's not, I mean, it's supposed to be like a serious like horror game, and then they have woo doo 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 doo. What the hell am I reading? The in-universe UN? I don't know. I don't know what kind of conspiracy thing is going on. What's up? Not a ton's going on. There's not a lot to talk about in this episode. It's like an old boardwalk. This is not Beach City, right? Because what is this lighthouse? What is, I don't know. Why would you have artwork or photos of like a different boardwalk? That's weird. Let's do a ranking of what episodes are filler and could be removed. That's a project that my friend is working on. That's not for me because I'm letting him do that, and I'm going to be a part of that video whenever he decides to do it. Kane, if you're listening, get to work. It's one of those generic arts you see in restaurants. Yeah, it's... I feel like a local restaurant with, like, very clearly, like, employees of the thing... The, what do you call it? This looks like an article about Fish Stew Pizza. This looks like perhaps Nana Foi's husband named Mr. Pizza. Kofi's dad. And this is, yeah, this is like an article of the restaurant itself. I feel like it would make more sense for them to have more local art and stuff and photos. I don't know. If I were to do a restaurant and I was going to do decorations, I probably wouldn't, I would do one or the other is what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't do, like, some generic, like, Hobby Lobby paintings mixed in with, like, local photos and, like, news articles and stuff. That would just be strange. I feel like it would be a very, very odd choice. I also am not a decorator. I don't have, like, anything hanging up in my office here. The only thing I have up hanging is, like, these sound treatment things that, like, don't do much because I have hardwood floors. So my office is echoey anyway. I'm sure, like, the echoes can be heard in Gemology videos. This stream will end up getting I will probably end up cutting this one a little bit shorter than normal, probably an hour shorter, because I started this stream right after a bike ride, and I haven't had any chance to like eat something, so around the 2-hour mark I'll probably cut it off. I could talk about a little bit of a little anime bullshit for a little bit, because I announced it on Patreon that I do want to make an anime review. Oh, what the hell's going on? Those fingers are goofy. Yeah, her hands are like really huge. They look like plants. Yeah. What was I saying? Okay, anime review, right? I started an anime, and I got hooked into it so much that I want to make a whole video about it. And in the future, if an anime review goes over well, I'd probably like to do an anime review every month. Or something video about an anime every month. Because I've decided I'm giving up hope on Western animation. Not entirely. No, that's not true. I'm starting to look at other, because Western animation has been in such a slump that it's just like, well, I've heard people still like anime and it's good and stuff, so I wanted to try that out. So I just went on fucking Crunchyroll and sorted by new and picked one. Okay, you know what the most aesthetic, we're talking about McDonald's gray washing everything. The most aesthetically pleasing restaurant, like fast food restaurant, was Wendy's. You know, every Wendy's had like this fucking sunroof, or like not a sunroof, like kind of a greenhouse section, if that makes any sense. What is that called? Like the curved windows you could sit under, and like it would be like sunny and it would be super bright. Did I watch K-pop Demon Hunters? No. The sunroom. Yeah, that's the thing. Atrium. They have those. I think the one near me, I'm going to look on Google Maps. I'm not going to pull this up because I don't want to dox myself of where I live. The one near me I think it still has that. I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time. The only times I've been to Wendy's was when I was like in other towns. Like I was driving through. I'm going to look on like Street View to see if the one I'm thinking of has the atrium still. Let me see this. Open in Google Maps. You see it on Street View. It doesn't. It has like the front. It doesn't have like the glass that goes all the way to the roof. And the building, it looks like it never had that. It looks like it's just a smaller area with like a metal roof, but it has like big windows. Do I know about the Owl House? If you're gonna tell me to not give up on Western animation because of the Owl House, I will say, first of all, I've tried watching it. I never got into it. I maybe watched maybe half of the first season, and it just never clicked with me, really. I gave it a lot of time to try. There's a like I can name maybe 3 shows that are like currently running from like Western animation, right? Which is Castlevania. I don't even know if that one's like ended or not. Arcane and Invincible. Those are the only ones I can think of. And those are the ones that get recommended to me over and over and over. And none of them interested me. I don't know. It's probably partly because like they've been watched by everyone already, that I feel like I'm not special. I'm not getting in on anything new. They're not new because everyone's already seen them. And every time if I watch a show that everyone's seen and I try to talk about it, the problem with that is that like people have already like said everything they want to say. So when I get into it late, yeah, if I'm like coming to the party late, like everything's already been discussed, and I'm like, oh, okay. There's like nothing new that I can say that people haven't already thought about. Which is weird, because here I am making videos about Steven Universe where everyone, like, people haven't, like, things that exist that people haven't talked about, really. See, Arcane Season 1 was A+ perfect. Season 2 was okay. So yeah, the intention of if I want to talk about like anime is that a lot of what I'm going to talk about is probably going to be either something, if it's older, it's going to be obscure, and if it's newer, it's going to be something that's like so new that I don't think anyone's talked about it, which is the anime that I picked to make this video is so new that I don't think there's any reviews about it out yet. I do miss being able to get into a show like ground floor. Yeah. Getting in on the ground floor. Which I did for Steven Universe, and that's why I'm here. Like the main reason that I'm still here. Because this show has been such a like it's like a keystone in it's a keystone motel, if you will, in my life. Shirt shop is open. What kind of newspapers? Do you think Ronaldo owns one of these and he prints out Keep Each City Weird and puts them in one of these? Do you think he puts a quarter in, opens it up, takes all of the newspapers out, and then puts in stacks of Keep Each City Weird? Guarantee that's what he does. New headcanon. Is that even legal? No, it's not. But I'm sure he does it anyway. People do things that are illegal. I mean, him kidnapping Steven is for sure not legal. Like, so this is fish stew pizza, right? Where's the stew? Like, fish pizza, sure. Like, anchovies, it's pretty good. Where's the stew? Literally everyone breaks the law in this show. Yeah, I think honestly you're right. I think the one person who doesn't is like fucking Fryman. Or like sour cream or something, I don't know. Is their last name Stew? No, their last name is Pizza. I mean, a stew, when you think about it, a stew is kind of just like a liquid pizza. Okay, hear me out. Okay, I'm not crazy. Hear me out. So a pizza, when you make a pizza, you put down a piece of bread, you flatten out a piece of bread and you stretch it out till it's a circle, and then you just start putting shit on top of it, right? You can put like anything you want. So you always start with like sauce and cheese, and then you put you can just put like chicken or like sausage and onions and mushrooms and pepperoni. Just like kind of whatever. You could chop up a fucking banana pepper, put it on there. So think about a stew, right? You take a pot of water, you just start putting stuff in it. You you put meat in there, you put a pepper in there, you throw in a tomato or two, some mushrooms. It's like the same thing, kind of, almost. It's the same idea. There's just no bread and cheese in a stew. And there's more water in a stew. As accurate as my quantum physics. Listen, the only thing I got wrong with quantum physics is that it enabled faster than light communication, which it doesn't, and that's what I got wrong. I just had a misconception about quantum fucking entanglement. That reminds me of that Nikocado meme where he drinks something and cries. That's, that could be any of his videos. I think. I don't know. I have never seen a full Nikocado video all the way through. I don't think I could stomach that. Isn't he, like, thin now? Didn't he do, like, huge weight loss? And then, like, pranked everybody? Maybe it's pizza in the summer and stew in the winter. I feel like there's shots of them eating pizza in the winter. There was... Okay, I kind of missed this. There was this ice cream place near me. And I was there for the first year where it opened. And, you know, most ice cream places, when you get to parts of the country where it gets really cold during the winter, you know, proper winters, they just close for the season because people tend to buy ice cream from ice cream shops when it's really hot. So during, like, fall, winter, they just shut down. But this ice cream place, the first year it opened up, they served soup during the winter. And they don't anymore, and I have to think that they just didn't make enough money doing that, which is sad, because I like the idea of a soup store. That would be cool. There's a gas station, it's a Midwest chain that serves soup. I haven't had much of their soup, but it's pretty good from what I had. Maybe the stew is so bad, everyone knows to never order it. Winter soup. I think a winter, like, keeping the ice cream as a... Or, like, turning the ice cream store into a soup store during the winter would be fucking awesome. It's just that I think they do most of their business through a drive-thru. And, like, getting soup in a drive-thru sounds like a recipe for disaster. You know what they need to do is open a fucking, like, car detailing place right next door to it. So people who spill their soup from the drive-thru can, like, go and get their fucking seats cleaned. A hot soup bread bowl on a cold winter day. That sounds fucking awesome. I gotta go out more during the winter, I think. I know, like, I've become more tolerant to the cold because I had to. I work at a school, I had to do, like, recess duty and stuff. Like, I've gotten kind of used to winter a little bit more. I feel like I should just go to a soup place and just get soup. I don't know. On some of the beach city snow days, on the single one we see... Every single one we see looks like he's curling up with a toasty snack. It's true. I feel like Steven's house, just the location that Steven's house is at makes it more cozy because there's just like nothing around him. Like you look out the windows, there's like no civilization, right? It's just beach and ocean. It's just at the perfect angle. Like all of Beach City is like out of view. It just makes it cozy. It's the same idea as like a cabin in the woods, I think. It just seems cozy. I would like to rent a cabin in the woods during the winter where it just gets like the whole cabin gets like buried in snow. That would be awesome. Snow in New Jersey is strange, isn't it? Like Delmarva? Virginia is pretty, like, south, right? They don't get a ton of snow in that area, I don't think. Okay, Baltimore. I'm gonna say Beach City. Closest, city, real-life city to Beach City is Baltimore. Right? Like, in terms of, like, big cities. I don't know how much snow Baltimore gets. Baltimore snow. I'm curious. I don't know. How much snow? What are winters in Baltimore like? Okay, here we go. AI overview. Okay, take this with a grain of salt because it's the fucking Google search AI. Cold bring a decent amount of snow. Temperatures frequently drop below 30 degrees. Average temperature being between 30 and 45. So that seems reasonable for Steven Universe. Dover. Let's think about Dover. Just to like compare the three states. What are winters like? Daily high temperatures. Okay, they frequently fall below 28 degrees. I don't know. It doesn't say about like snowfall. Dover snow. It's telling me current. It's like there's currently no active snow events in Dover. Well, yeah, because it's fucking August. Okay, none of this is helpful. It's definitely over there. It's definitely not as much as around where I lived, for sure. Oh, good question. Why do I use Blender to edit? Because it's free. That's pretty much it. It's free and I have it installed. And I didn't have to, like, accept a terms of... It's all open source. I didn't have to accept, like, a weird, cringe terms of service to actually use it. The magic of free open source software. It's insane. Blender is cheaper than Krita. Krita isn't... You can't even compare... First of all, those are both open source. Free and open source software. Second, they're, like... They do two entirely different things. Wait, why do Pearl and Amethyst have these at the end of the episode if they just fucking tossed them? I know Pearl would have them. They just fucking threw them into the water and left? Where did Pearl go? Where, like, huh? This is her room. This episode is every time I start thinking about this episode, it falls apart, which is bad. Because that means I can't analyze it, because it makes no sense. They secretly loved being on the secret team. That's why it's a secret. Because they can't admit it. It's a secret. There's no bingo card. It's a goofy gag. It's a gag that bled over from the last stream. Someday someone will make a real one. But right now it's just a goofy. Okay. It is about that time where I'm getting a little freaking hungry. So I'm gonna have to probably call it here. It's a little short. But this episode is also, like I said in the stream title, this episode is borderline filler. So there was not a lot to talk about at all. I considered like not even streaming today, to be totally honest. Because I'm like, what is there to talk about? This episode is very pointless. So I'm gonna go get some freaking dinner because I didn't have any of that, or supper if you want to say it that way. Do you guys dine or do you sup? That's my question. Because I'm gonna go do one of those. You guys dine? Consume? I'm gonna start saying sup, like I'm going to sup with this person tonight. I eat. I consume. Nobody sups in this chat. That's unfortunate. Alright, speaking of unfortunate, I have to go. You know what I might do? In the next, like, day or two, this is a weird one. This is a deep cut. I used to hold a world record in a video game called Alone in the Dark Illumination. The game's awful, don't play it. Someone stole my world record from me. So at some point I'm gonna get that back. So on Twitch, which there's a link, if you guys want to watch more streams, I want to do more on Twitch. I say that like every stream. I'd like to do a new speedrun of Alone in the Dark Illumination and try to get my world record back. And I'll probably do that maybe tomorrow? Maybe later this week? Hopefully tomorrow? Yeah, if any of you want to follow me on that, I will probably do that at some point. Entirely unrelated to anything Steven Universe, anything animated, anything fucking Gemology related. But I want my world record back. I want to say that I have a world record. That would be cool. Okay. But for now, I'm leaving. Goodbye, chat. Good night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.